Here, April 20th, 11:14 p.m. This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com with a daily wrestling news update for you and combat sports news update as we do cover MMA and other fighting sports as well. The first current UFC fighter to test positive for the coronavirus is former Bellator welterweight champion, and he's a current member of the UFC roster, Lyman Good. He admitted on Monday that he tested positive for the virus, and not only did he have it, but his girlfriend and coach also have it, and they have all recovered. So good to hear they're part of the 98% of people that recover from the coronavirus. The UFC is planning unofficially May 9th pay-per-view, and Amanda Nunes has already said she's not going to do it. She is, of course, a dual weight champion right now in the UFC. She says it's not enough time for her to have a training camp, and she's going to wait until she can have a proper training camp before she takes any fights. She told that to CBS Sports. So I fully understand her perspective there. She actually was quoted as saying she wants to wait for the coronavirus situation to pass a little bit so she can do a full and proper camp. The other thing that might affect wrestling with the coronavirus, LA News are supposed to have 37 in next year. Construction on that stadium has been halted for the time being due to the lockdown. So I don't know if it's going to be ready or not by WrestleMania 37. So if that happens, people are saying they could possibly hold WrestleMania 37 in Tampa, where WrestleMania 36 was supposed to be, and then hold WrestleMania 38 in LA. That remains to be seen. Apparently, Georgia is going to be open for wrestling next week, according to Governor Brian Kemp, who is also opening gyms, bowling alleys, hair salons, barbershops, and other similar businesses next week. The PFL new MMA League that was supposed to start this year, and they had like guys like Tom Lawler signed to it. Apparently they're putting their league on hold until next year due to this lockdown. A lot of these MMA leagues come and go, so who knows if that one is actually going to turn out to be a successful federation or not. Joe Pedicino, former WCW announcer and wrestling figure, passed away on April 12th at the age of 70. He'd been sick since he had a stroke this past June. The Rock is working on a new TV show. It's going to be like an acted show about backyard wrestling, according to reports. And tomorrow I'm going to be interviewing Irv Mushnick, who is an expert on the Jimmy Snuka murder situation. He was part of the Dark Side of the Ring documentary. He's not happy with it. He said they left some key information out. He also wrote a book about the Benoit tragedies. So that should be an interesting Skype. I'm also supposed to be interviewing Jacques Rougeau on Wednesday. He's part of the Dino Bravo Dark Side of the Ring. And Terry Runnels, I'm supposed to be interviewing her this week. Super Soki 13 says, good afternoon from Australia. Thanks a lot. Ralph Vaquero says, glad he's recovered, talking about the UFC fighter that's recovered. Well, of course, the UFC fighters and wrestlers are going to be more likely to recover because they're in shape, and being healthy and training hard is going to help the immune system, of course. Isban Arroyo says, greetings from Atlantic City. Ralph Vaquero says they better get it together to finish. Not sure which one you're talking about. He also, Richard M says he's about to lose it. He probably has to do with the lockdown. We're all about to lose it. Matthew Medetz just tipped me $2. Thank you very much. He says, thank you for your output of content. Be safe. Well, thanks for the $2 tip. KW, what's my opinion of Billy Jack Haynes and his story? You're going to have to be more specific on that. Michael B says, looking forward to the Irv Mushnick interview. Richard M says, Stad stuff over there in Canada. Prayers for you all. Chris Monte says, I think we need a compilation video on the Von Erichs. I have one. Search it up. The Hannibal TV, the Von Erichs. It's a good one. I think it has somewhere around 100,000 views. Someone says, interview the Goon. Maybe one day. Ralph Vaquero says, at least I'm keeping it together, and he is too. Well, I miss weights for sure, and I'm not happy about this, but I'm making the best of it, using my punching bag a lot, running almost every night, about 10 miles. And I'm going to cut this fan Q&A short because after I did the greatest drawing WWE champions video a couple days ago, someone wanted me to do, many of you actually wanted me to do a video on WCW Best Drawing Champion. So I'm going to do a video in about 5 minutes about the best drawing WCW champions of all time. And NWO Wolfpack TV sent me this information. They drew great research. Bookie Bird says, challenge Jack Swagger to an MMA match. If Bellator would book that, I would do it. Definitely. I'm not opposed to it. Jack Swagger as a person, though, I always actually got along with him when I knew him in Deep South. We weren't close or anything, but I've never had an issue with him as a person. But for a paid MMA fight in a company like Bellator, I would have nothing to lose going into that. So I'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes with my best drawing WCW champions videos. Thanks for all your questions and comments.